Hey, bro. Hey, bro.
Another QOC production.
What it do? Hey, bro.
Hey, bro. Hey, say, hey. Hey, bro.
Moving forward from there, so that's what brought this whole partnership.
Say,
Okay.
let me holler at you.
Okay.
Hey,
It's funny because he felt.
say, let me holler at you. Hey, bro. Say, let me holler at you. Hey, let's have a conversation. Bro. Say, let me holler at you. Talk to me like a man, we talking like men. Show you that I'm your brother, we ride to the end. Back to a position where we live.
That track is so crazy. Or
Every
everybody,
single
y'all gotta
time.
hold on. Y'all gotta hold on. We gotta hold on a minute. Yo, I gotta hit.
Another QOC production. Hey, bro, say, let me holler at you. Hey, bro, say, let me.
Holla at you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Holy that man. Brandon O, wherever you are, bro, you don't know how blessed you are. And we getting ready to set up something nice for you, brother. Brandon O Soul, shout out to you wherever you are. For everybody that is in the land tonight, wherever you are tuning in from, you see what we got going on. We got Boston in the building, we got
Yeah.
Toronto in the building. My name is Conrad, and I got my brother. Say your name, brother. Come on.
What's up, y'all? It's Coach Chris. Oh, man, such a pleasure to be here right now.
Always, always, always. And for everybody that's going to be tapping in tonight, we want to see you. Make sure you get your name, pop it up. If you got any comments, anything at all, we will definitely pop it up on the screen. We got a good topic tonight, and we're not here for a long time. But in the meantime, in between time, while we're here, we need you to do a few things for us: like, share, and subscribe to the QOC network. And let's get the hashtag #ABRO in the chat tonight as everybody else is coming in. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook. All you got to do is type in QOC Network and you'll find us. You'll find us. You will find us. As you see, me and Chris are repping our cities tonight. We're repping our cities tonight,
Bro.
Chris.
Yeah, man.
And
Well,
you
you know,
know,
I got two cities, bro. You know,
oh,
so
that's right.
yeah.
I
Dallas,
totally
Texas,
forgot.
and Boston, man. Yes, sir. But bro, the hot city in right now, man, is your spot right now, bro. Tell us about that real quick, man. What's going on?
Man, so first of all, Toronto, I mean, being Canadian, everybody always assumes that you're hockey, but really and truly, it's kind of like because I have to double check, and I think the Maple Leafs, our hockey team, had their championship first before us. Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
from like the 70s. Yeah, so the Leafs, the hockey team, but people have been waiting for over 30 years, bro. I'm 40. Okay. People been waiting for over 30 years for Toronto to be back in this place. And when I tell you it is a beautiful thing, it is a beautiful thing. The city is, when I say the city is on lot, the city is just, energy is
Yeah.
buzzing everywhere you
Yeah.
go. Oh, we got two
Okay.
Bostons in the
Oh, I see you,
building.
bro.
We got
I
Bostons
see
in the
you, man.
building. You know what? Before I say anything more, I want to introduce y'all to the host, the CEO, the founder, the man with the plan of the Labutu Network, my man, my brother, our brother, The first time over on this side of the vineyard that we call QOC Network. Rush in the building. Holla at your boy. What's going on, my brother?
Yo, salute, salute. What up, what up, what up, Coach
Oh,
Chris? What up, Conrad, man? It's a pleasure to be in the building with y'all, man. Salute, salute.
all
What's happening,
praises
brother?
be to the Most High for you, brother. How you doing, man?
Yo, I'm doing good, man. I'm just happy to be here, man. Talk to me, man.
Hey man,
Yes, sir.
we glad that you here, and you know what I mean. We was just sitting there kind of rapping a little bit, talking about the effects of the World Series right now, and what's going on in Toronto. There's a lot of buzz going on. The energy's high. You know, people are excited. And but most importantly, and I said this to somebody, I'm like, sometimes I think I'm always in that thinking cap mode. So I think when I hit people with certain knowledge, they're just like, oh snap, I wasn't really thinking about that. Somebody at work came and asked me the same question, and I was like, it is going to put a lot of money in the city, even if we don't make it past this round. It's going to put a lot of money in the city. And with what's going on right now, the same way you guys are feeling the crunch over there, we might not be getting it as much, but we feeling the crunch over here. And there's a lot of youth that need these sports teams to go far, so that way they can actually keep their employment. Because what that's going to do is actually open them up employment going forward into the spring and the summer. This will actually keep them locked in through the winter. So there's a lot of young men and young women, but on the baseball side, there's a lot more young men that take to that. So when the stadiums are going up, ticket sales, you know what I mean, everything that goes into that, even preparation for the next spring season to come, puts a lot of jobs in the seats, puts a lot of more money flowing through the city. And you know what, especially at a season like this when people are generally down, it gives people other things to look at and other things to just be genuinely happy and grateful about. And right about now, I think all humanity across this world needs something to be happy about other than just riches. They need a genuine joy. And if that's the way the Most High is going to allow some people to experience it through the medium of sports, even though they should be looking to Him, then so be it. You know, and that we give the Most High thanks and praise all the time for that. I just want to shout out real quick. We got knowledge and relationship in the building. Mr. M3, thank you for being here, brother. He said, get the likes up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Rush, baby, how you doing, man? How are you? Talk to me.
Man, I'm doing good, man. You know, I'm just out here working, chasing that chicken. Know what I mean? You know what I mean? So,
I love it.
from between my 9 to 5, my referral company, and the podcast, and I'm pretty busy, man. Know what I mean?
That's what it is. That's what it is. And you know what, man, you already hitting on the topic, and we ain't even get started yet. Chris, talk to the people, let them hear you one time. What's going on, baby?
Oh man, it's all to the good, bro. Keeping one foot in front of the other. You know how it is, man. We out here grinding. Like my man said, like, listen, we chasing that chicken. I ain't never heard that before, but I like that right there, man. Yeah, we out here getting it, bro. One foot in front of the other. You know what I mean? Good or bad, bad or good. We making it happen. You know how it is.
No, that's facts. And you know what? For the rest of the night, anybody who's coming in, you can see this anywhere: Facebook, YouTube, wherever you are. You got to put hashtag chasing the chicken. That's the hashtag for the night. We're gonna put hashtag chasing the chicken. And if we get $1 million off that, we gotta know we gotta make sure that we cut the commission check right. You figured it, feel me. That's what's up. Quest 24, thank you for being here in the building. Said, love this podcast. Keep pushing. We definitely will. And you know what? The funny thing is, that's a great encouragement, and that's an on time encouragement for what the topic is tonight. And you know what? I'm being so sloppy. I'm being so sloppy. I do apologize, y'all. I didn't even get the banner up right now. I'm being so sloppy. Where are we? Where are we? No, 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 no. So, everybody, first of all, and if you don't know where you are, if you don't know who we are, over here, this is the QOC Network, the A Bro Show, a safe space for men where we can talk, build, reflect, and have solutions on moving forward. We are directly invested in making sure that each brother, no matter where you are, no matter what you look like, and no matter where you come from, that you are intentionally invested in becoming your best self. This is not about how much women you can get, because we already been there. This is about you becoming the best version of for you, for your community, because guess what? If they didn't tell you, we gonna tell you over here. The community starts and stops with us. You fit. And I think we can all agree on that. Let's take a little temperature check. We talked about a little sports, and that's to get us a little loose tonight. But I know within the states there's a lot of different things going on, right? We got different cities that have the National Guard being brought in. And you know what the thing is we gonna call it out straight here. We're not gonna mention no names. So I'm gonna, for those who are in Canada and you're viewing, those who are in comments, keep the chat popping. We're gonna come to you in a minute, but we got to set a foundation first. We're not gonna mention certain names, and I'm gonna say this from the Canadian point of view, because I understand and I hear it on the news verbatim every day as what the penalty is for being in a place where you say or don't say certain things. So guys, if I feel that you might say something, and it's not just something, it's a specific name. I know Rush is aware. I know Rush is aware, and I know Chris is probably definitely aware of this. But they if you have a certain critique of anybody, a specific person, they will they gon' mark you, and you can't move as you want to. And I'm here to keep the brothers safe from that tonight. Right. I got a little autonomy in that way. God bless this land over here, that I can step in the gap for my brothers and make sure that we all cool to get our opinions off. But as it relates, the thing that I wanted to kind of just get a temperature check is, before we get into the topic, is there's been a division in terms of people who feel like this was a good move, because some people are saying this is the safest they have been in so long. They can go out on their front yard, they can have their kids go outside, they and literally, even with our own community as black people, we have some people actually even going as far to say, hey, I'm not a nigga, I'm not one of them. With the action to keep cities safe. Russia, I'll start with you, and then Chris, we're gonna pop over to you. With the thought being driven to the masses as we keeping people safe, do you feel that that word safe was used for a greater ploy to kind of push a wedge? Is there a greater plan at work? What do you think about that, Rush?
My thoughts on that. But when you say using the word safe, be a little bit more specific, so that way I could give you a good
Okay,
response.
so everybody there, the division is people are saying I'm not one of them, so I don't got to worry. Thank you for bringing in the National Guard, because now we finally feel safe. Do this word, is it being relayed with genuine emotion, or is it being portrayed with a divisive intent? Because the portrayal of the word being used, safe, right, is the media. So the person who's giving the comment, they don't have no real control once it leaves their phone, right? Once it leaves TikTok, once it leaves the news, they don't have no control in how that's displayed. So is is genuine emotion being used as a tactic right now, as a divisive tool to separate us even more? What do you feel about that?
Nah, I don't think it's a tactic to separate us even more. Like, due to my occupation in like law enforcement, I deal with the YNs firsthand. So I kind of understand. Like, I grew up in the inner city too, so I know what time it is, man. Like I know what goes on. I'm not disconnected. I mean, you could tell by my vernacular. Like, I got a little bit of streets in me too. Like, I come from that. So no, I don't think we're using the word safe is like a ploy to separate the people. I think those people are being genuine on a situation. I mean, because you gotta understand, man. Like, a lot of those, like, the situation in DC, Chicago, like these are not areas that's normal with criminal activity. Like, there's a serious spike within those inner cities. You know what I mean? A lot has been going on over there. The elderly are not, they don't feel comfortable leaving the house. They got to go to work and pay bills. And just imagine, right? You working a 12-hour shift, right? You want to hurry up, go home, go to sleep, drink your Corona, you know what I mean, and do the same thing the following day. But when you coming home, you gotta keep your head on the swivel because you might get robbed. You know what I'm saying? So like I could empathize on what a lot of those people is going through in those inner cities, man. I mean,
I didn't realize my mic
Yeah.
was muted. Y'all, sorry, my bad. Thank you for that commentary on that. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because I didn't look at it through that lens. So thank you for kind of broadening my scope on that. Coach Chris, what do you think, man? Um,
Yeah, no,
is it
that's
divisive or is should there be
hey,
more
yo, let me say
empathy?
this before
And
Chris goes. In the state of
yeah,
New Jersey, they just passed a law. Um, like if your child commits a crime, now the parent will be held responsible for that crime. They're gonna
mm,
do the time for that. And yo, I
when
kind
that
of feel them, man, because yo,
mm.
these kids is off the chain, man. I'm telling you, man. The YNs ain't playing, dog. Know what I mean? So
the
it
funny thing
kind of
is
forced them to be a
Oh
parent,
man,
man. Know what I mean? Like, I mean, discipline
the
your
same
child, man. Know what I mean?
the same
oh
time that passed down in Jersey, it actually passed up here too. So now even in Toronto, not for I don't think it's the same for all of our provinces because we ain't got states, we got provinces up here. Same basically same thing. I say the
mhm,
only thing difference with our provinces is that they don't actually get to set a lot of their own laws. It's actually pretty much the same province to province. But in that regard, yeah, for Toronto, we the same time Jersey bus with that, we got that too up here. Chris, go ahead, man.
that's tough right there. I low key want to touch on that too. But no, I agree with everything Rush said, man. It's no division or no device or nothing like that, man. I feel like it's been like this for a hot minute, but things is kind of like boiling over, to a high degree. And we got to keep in mind it's a bro, no matter the yeah, we the same background, same color, whatever, but it's a difference between a civilian and someone who lives a foul lifestyle. It's a difference between a civilian who works in 9 to 5 and wants to live a productive lifestyle and someone who wants to live, as a hoodlum or whatever. Like my man said, the YNs, they wilding out right now. So it's like, nah, we got to keep certain people safe out here, like the grandmas and the grandpas that's going to the grocery store and going back home, getting robbed and stuff like that. Like, nah, no, sir. No, definitely, man, we got to keep these people safe. So I agree with Rush. And that's a tough topic. I just want to hit on it real quick because Russ said it's taking place in New Jersey. Conrad, you said it's taking place in your area as well. Y'all really feel like parents should be penalized for the children's activities? You feel me? Because I'm caught up in it. I'm on the fence because I feel it, but at the same time, I do feel like there's certain parents out here that's doing their best. They trying their best, and the kids are still wilding now, man, to like whatever going on. But yeah, let's touch on that real quick.
Yo,
And we're gonna
I'm
keep
gonna
it
give you
pushing.
some pushback on that, man. Like, yo, I deal. Listen, man. Like when them shootouts go on in them project buildings, I'm dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of times when that happens, it's usually them young kids, man. Like they put in that work, man. Know what I mean? So, nah, man. Like, yo, when you dealing with these kids firsthand, they got a problem with authority, man. Like, now there's a lot of them that's good. You know what I mean? There's a lot of them that's good, but yo, there is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
bigger
yeah, yeah, yeah,
portion
yeah.
that is committed to that street life. You know what I mean? And yo, like it's just it's unbearable, man. It's not feasible to deal with them. You know what I mean? They're real disrespectful. You know what I mean? And sometimes they might come with the blick and you know what I mean? And give
Yeah,
you a
no, no, and
Kodak
that's
moment,
cool.
man.
I think
I'm
I mean
saying?
if I didn't misunderstand, but what I'm saying, why the parents got to be penalized? I'm like, go straight for the kid.
Nah, man, the parent needs to be penalized, man, because they're not raising their kids the right way, man. Like, you could brush it off. Like, if your child go out there,
Mm.
raising mayhem within the community, like, you're just gonna brush it off. You might say something to him, but he's just gonna do it again. You know what I'm saying? So this would and it would make the parent to be have an incentive to really discipline their child, man. Because now, if your child get done, running the jukes or bodying somebody, you as a parent gonna do the time for that. So now you really gotta, you know what I mean, put your
Uh,
foot down. You know what I
oh,
mean?
that's tough. Oh, that's tough. I want.
Yeah.
But here's
We
but
got a
here's
topic. We got.
no, no, no,
Go
no.
ahead,
Hold on,
man.
hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, that's
good
good.
conversation. This is good
Yeah, bro.
conversation, right? This gonna lead because something either has to change or there has to be an adaptation, right? There has to be an implementation of something, right? And maybe this conversation is maybe there's a parent listening that might be on the cusp of this situation right now. So we want to try and help and see if we can give them a little light while
Hey,
we talking on it. But like,
And see,
yo,
that's
man,
my
it's
thing right
cool, man.
there because
I love the youth, man.
yeah,
You can tell
yeah.
on my channel, man. Like you know what I mean. I try to lead them in the right direction or know that by giving them some advice on my channel. But I don't got a lot of traction on there, man. I do what I do. You know what I mean? But the reason why, like,
in case y'all didn't understand what my man saying is, hey, you can't take away mine because it ain't worth nothing. He's like, I got revenue built into it, but it ain't gonna break my bank if you try to take it.
right.
Yeah.
So it's like this, right? For example, Chris, right? Let's say your kid is all playing ball, for practice, right? And a few them YN cats come through, right? They like, they get the dumping with the blick, right? Your child get hit. Aren't you gonna feel some type of way? You gonna want some justice behind that, right?
Oh yeah, without question. And don't get me wrong. Like you said, I mean, this is my thing. So my heart goes out to the single parent that's out here that's actually trying, like that's actually like they're doing their best with their child, and their child is still wilding out. That's my thing right there. Like Conrad said, like something got to change. So we talking about single parent, single parent households. Is the pops involved? Is the mom involved? Like what's going on with this? So it's certain factors that we get it. I mean, it's so easy to be like, you know what, kid wilding out, let's slam the parent. But I'm like, bro, where's the change at the end of the day? And I don't think that's the end all be all right there as far as like, just penalizing the parent. Like, yo, you got to do this time because your kid is wilding out. And I'm like, imagine if it was a single mom in this situation. Are we gonna go after the dad? Like what a pop said, like what's going on with this, that, and the third. So yeah, man, it's easy to say that. It's easy to say that. Let's get the parent. But I'm like, bro, we gotta look at certain factors, man.
You're not in the front line dealing with these YNs. I'm gonna give you
I
some
actually
pushback.
am.
Well, I don't know. My bad for assuming. I mean,
Yeah, you good,
but
bro.
let me just say this: a lot of those kids that be wilding out, they all come from single mother households, man. They did a case study in the prison system, right? And each dude that they politic with told them and confessed to them that they stem from a single mother household. Now, I mean, the stats show that a large portion of the criminal activity stems from kids coming up from a single mother household, fam. So, yo, man, it's something gotta give, man. Know what I mean? Because when you dealing with these kids firsthand, man, they don't respect anybody, fam. Know what I mean? It's sad to say, man, but this is something that's gonna force that single parent to really raise their kid the right way. And a lot of times when you discipline these kids, right, in public, their mother will come through and complain about that, man. So
Yeah, for
guess
sure.
what?
But then here's the other piece.
Right,
But here's the other piece. But here's the other piece with that. So that's what I'm saying. This makes no sense. So we're gonna penalize the parent and move them out the way. Now where the kid gonna go? If they going to the system, they going to grandpa's house, they going to aunt's house. That's what I'm saying. So it makes no sense.
Man. Raise your kid right, man. These kids is off the chain, man. Know what I mean? We're not even
but this is the thing. If we get hype, but no, we get hype off of this, but it's a fail at the end of the day. Everybody's failing at the end of the day. Like you see, like it's not adding up. None of this adds up.
Okay. All right, both of y'all, yo, this is nice. We spicy tonight. We spicy tonight. Yo, everybody get the likes up before we go in, because as we're talking about adaptation, right? Let's say, and I want to paint a scenario, because the stats show what they show, but the stats doesn't also show the aspect in which empathy can be driven and given to. And I almost became part of the statistic when I was younger, right? Single mother, she's working, but my situation was, which is like The others is there was no guidance because my mom used more fear, right? It was like, fear what I'm saying so you don't do. And at a certain point, we've got to acknowledge that a mother is depending on whatever tactic she's been taught and whatever is in her that she can give down. This is why it's necessary for the community, right? If there's a community of brothers that see that, we're gonna have to get to a place where we actually say out loud, this is not allowed. Certain things are not allowed in our community. Now, I will acknowledge that I don't want to say backbone, but I'll say foundation. Our foundation to be able to say this in our community, it's jaded and fragmented right now. And it's not just in the States, it's also up here in Canada too. There was something that Rush mentioned that I wanna kind of piggyback off of, and I actually want to give a solution on how we can combat that when a mother says that, right? So Rush had mentioned that when other men try to step in and set a foundation or set the boundaries and let's just say the rules and say, hey, young man, young ma'am, young miss, we not doing that over here, right? There is an aspect of certain mothers that will come across and say, hey, no, you don't talk to my child like that. I take care of my child. I raise my child. They don't need you. Da, 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 da. At that point, and I'm saying this most based off experience because I faced that. I had a mother. I was talking to a group of young men about, and this is early before I heard the term sucker free, stay sucker free. Before I heard that term, Rush, this is basically what I was telling the young men. And so we were at church and I said to them, I said, yo, let me ask y'all a question. How much of y'all young men is lined up some action before the sermon's even done? All of them raised their hand. Organist, drummer, teacher, everybody raised their hand. I said, okay, I'm not judging you because I've been there. But here's the problem. You actually have to decide right now for you what you want as an outcome. Because out of this outcome, I'm not trying to scare you, but it is a real outcome that out of you lining this up before the sermon's done, you run out and you run into having a kid before you stop being a kid. Do you really want to deal with that situation? So when the parents came to me now and they were like, "Oh, well, we don't think that's the right that's the right place and time to have this conversation." I'm like, "Well, we're not saying it from the pulpit, and you don't always have all the time during the week to say it. So wouldn't you like somebody who's not judging your situation to come and stand with you without you having to ask them and tell your kids the same thing that you would say to them if you had the freedom, space, and time to do it?" And the parents and these mothers actually looked at me and they went from doing this to, "Oh my gosh." I said, "Yeah, I'm not trying to be you in your house. I'm trying to be an extension of you outside your house because I acknowledge the situation that you're in. I'm not saying that you're excused from how this situation came to be. You weren't by yourself, but at the same time, because you weren't by yourself, and I want a certain outcome for my community, for my young brothers and my young ladies, okay, I'm gonna need you to back me up. So when I say something out here, it's law." And so this is how I think, and I saw the question in the chat, and I'm going to put it up. Shout out to Renee, CEO, founder of the QOC. She said, Where's the community?" Well, this is how we start to build it back day by day. It's by having people like Rush, who's in the community at a multi-tiered level. It's about having brothers like Coach Chris in the community at a multi-tiered level. And it's about brothers like myself being in the community at a multi-tiered level, not to tear down anybody, but to back up and reinforce and be that actual backup that is supposed to be there, and that especially the ladies would hope that would be there without them having to do too much. But I'm going to say it's going to take two to tango. I know I'm being long-winded with this, but I really want to give it context and land this plane that ladies, just like we as men got to show up, y'all got to show up too. And the way you do show up is if you don't have a man in the home that's your husband or the father of those children, then the way you do that for the men that are in the community is, if especially if they're not leading your children wrong, once you have validated what they're saying and you know it to be true, you continue to validate that. And you might not bring these men in the community into your personal business in the home, but you will make sure that, hey, the community's watching out for our house. So you make sure, because if you think you're going to get away from my respect and my authority in this house, my respect and authority stretches outside this house. And this is how we begin to get back to that place. In my opinion, this is how we get back to this place of community where somebody like Rush, who is in law enforcement, who's an entrepreneur, who is active, somebody like Chris, who is a made man, he's married, he's established, he's in the community, and he knows how to withdraw himself away, pray, and talk to the Most High to get direction on how to continue to lead. All three of us have one major thing in common. We all have a relationship with the Most High. So any woman who sees us and hears this, guess what? When they know we're not just trying to do this for our own glory, we know our position and our purpose in being in the community. And this helps us to be more adaptable. I know I'm long-winded. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm trying to get this out so we can get into the topic because this is good right here. We have made ourselves adaptable, not just for the betterment of ourselves, but for the betterment of our community. And this is the problem with the divisiveness of the word safe that I was talking about, because women want to feel safe, men want to feel safe, children want to feel safe, but nobody wants to yield authority in places when they can't actually be there. If I had somebody like Rush in my public school, I know for sure the abuse that was going on to me wouldn't have went on. And so, ladies, hear us clearly. We're not talking down to you, but you got to acknowledge the elephant in the room, and you got to come out from that broken mindset. Renee said, this sounds really good. I remember when you got in trouble, everyone in the neighborhood could discipline and then tell your parents. Exactly. I'm gonna put that
Mhm.
comment up. That's what it is. And let's be honest, we ain't got no time to be punching up people no more. So it's not about literally out there spanking nobody. It's about, listen, there's a certain level of consequence that life will give you, and I don't even got to do nothing to you. You don't get, and young brothers hear us clearly, you don't get many opportunities to sit there and walk into a consequence and walk back out of it. It ain't the 80s no more. This ain't the 90s, early 2000s, the 70s. Nah. You young brothers, you got one chance. And you see how and this is why I wanted to say this, because the way the powers that be, and that's how I'm going to choose to label them for the act of safety of my brothers who are in the States, the way that the powers that be are going is they're literally using the aspect of freedom and somebody being safe in their freedom to remove and usurp the authority of who? Parents at home and the community. And then they continue to drive the wedge between black man and black woman, or men and women in general, and say, you don't need this person and you don't need that person. So now I don't need your authority, but that's not true. As a woman, you need Rush's authority. Just because you don't submit to him emotionally doesn't mean you don't need to submit to his authority. You need Chris's authority. This is how you guys got to understand. You can't. A lion has a pride of women around him. They all submit to his authority, and he marches 1,000 miles in each direction to secure the land. So when he's sleeping in the day and he's like, I'm not getting up to do nothing, you don't got a choice but to subject to that lion's authority. Why? Because when you were sleeping, he was marching in 1,000 miles north, came back home, 1,000 miles south, came back home, 1,000 miles east, came back home, 1,000 miles west, came back home. And this is how we build the community.
Mhm.
This is how we get it back. Now, here's the thing. And brothers, I'm going to land my plane by yielding it to this question, and then we're going to get into some of the subtopics. Uh, Everybody, if you haven't done it, make sure you get the likes, share, subscribe up. We've got the chat bots going on. They going on with the war in the background. So Rush, don't worry. I actually already have the Labutu network on pre-post. So we got you. If y'all be paying attention to the chat as you go, you'll see it when it pops up. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe to Rush and the Labutu network. We got Coach Chris. He's here with me on the QOC network. Make sure you like and subscribe. And stay tuned to more from the Real platform, because they're heading into phase 2, and that team is putting me to work, and they ain't giving me no paycheck. So just pray my strength, pray my strength over here, that I can keep the vision strong and write the vision and make it plain. Brothers, as we transition from using this scenario, right, as a microcosm of being adaptable, what does an adaptable man look like to you? Coach Chris, I'm gonna come to you, and then Rush, we're gonna come to you. What does an adaptable man look like to you? What does that mean to you? And what does that look like to you?
Man, bro. And that was a good back and forth, man. I was like, man, these brothers, these dope brothers keep chatting, man. We ain't gonna never get to the topic, boy, because y'all hitting on some good stuff for real, for real. Cause y'all, bro, Conrad, no man. When I hear some cats talking, my mind get to going. But anyways, let me stick to the topic. Uh, Rush, we thank God for you, for real, man. But the adaptable man. So when I heard it, I did jot this down. The adaptable man is someone who can adjust his mindset, behavior, and approach when life changes without losing his sense of self and purpose. He doesn't resist change or challenges. Instead, he learns from it and pivot and grows stronger. So, bro, when I'm thinking about the adaptable man, bro, I'm thinking about a cat that's open-minded. You feel me? And I'm not thinking about the usual, can he adapt when he loses his job? Can he adapt when he's, going through a divorce? Can he adapt if his mom passes away or something like that? I'm thinking about, can you have an open mindset? Can you adapt when you listening to a dope brother like Rush? He challenges your thinking. You feel me? Because you might be in error. So I'm thinking about, if Conrad comes to you and he's talking, he's like, yo, let me challenge your mindset real quick. Let me put you on the right track. I think about an adaptable mindset. Bro, I think about the statement, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And nowadays in 2025, you can't even teach a new dog new tricks, because everybody has this ego or whatever. So when I'm thinking about an adaptable man, one who can like be open-minded and listen to certain conversations and listen to certain people and gain insight and wisdom and get rooted and grounded the correct way. Everybody got their own way to go. Everybody got this ego. They got this pride about them to where they don't want to be adaptable. They don't want to be open-minded. Like it's certain, don't get me wrong, there's certain foundations you do need in life. And your parents probably put that in you. You probably looked at a podcast or some type of conference or whatever, and they put that in you. But bro, when I think about an adaptable man, I'm thinking about someone who's open-minded and someone who can like listen to like certain type of correction, listen to certain type of wisdom, get challenged and groomed a certain type of way, the way they can be put on the right track. So when I think about a man that's adaptable, like, bro, yeah, he can take on life challenges, but at the same time, it's like he can listen to somebody with some wisdom, somebody with experience, someone that got like that lived longer than him, and can like actually like place some type of like positive seeds in them, and those seeds can grow and be, this man can be something that's bro, the next thing, the best next thing to Jesus, man. So that's when I think about an adaptable man, is that right there, a cat that's open-minded.
Rush, just before you go, right quick, let's shout out. We want to shout out the people in the building that came in. Stan Joseph was in the building. Quest 24. I didn't even realize that was that was our cousin. That was Johanse, Coach Chris. That was Johanse. When we were talking about when we on from the last episode. So shout out to The Wealth Is Yours, my cousin Johanse, for coming through. Thank you, brother. Much love for showing support. M3 came in the building. Much love to you. Renee is here. Egypt is here. Thank you for being in the building tonight. Thanks for being with us. And I just want to go over her last comment, and then I want to give it to you, yield and give the floor to you, Rush. She had said, it says, when men obey and come back to God and repent, then they will be able to lead their family, and they will become and basically come back into existence. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that solemnly. Not because it is just um something cliche to say, but I can testify. That's for another day and another time. I don't want to drag it out and take the floor away, but I can testify that is true. When you submit your ways to the Most High will direct your path and make you greater than you could ever make yourself. It doesn't mean that you don't got to have a plan, but you can definitely. Rush, what do you think on that? What does an adaptable man mean to you?
Adaptable man to me is a man that don't fold under pressure, man. Know what I mean, pressure on bust pipes, but at the same time it make diamonds. You heard? And my thing on that is like, yo, when you a man in this world, especially a black man, nobody coming to save you, man. Know what I mean, your excuses don't mean nothing. Know what I mean, if you're not performing, man, the world's gonna be harsh to you, man. Especially if you're a black man anywhere important in this world. Know what I mean, so my thing is, man, an adaptable man. He has a high level of being a stoic type dude. Uh, he's able to deal with curveballs because when it comes to life, man, especially when you're a black man living in this world, like there's no time for planning. You have to adjust as things go wrong. Now I mean, not only you have to have that kind of capability of adjusting, but at the same time, you got to be able to follow directions. Now I mean, you got to know how to be a great follower before you make that transition, becoming a great leader. You know what I mean? A lot of times I'm looking at things in this world right now, in this current time, man. A lot of people, not just women but men too, they have a problem dealing with authority, man. It's nothing wrong following directions, man. That's just the blueprint of life, man. You gotta follow the blueprint, man, so things can pan out, man, or we're just gonna have chaos, man. Word is born. So my thoughts as an adaptable man, yo, he's always staying sucker free. And yo, you know how to deal with the pressure. Know what I mean? Brody's born.
That is facts. And I just want to shout out two more people. I actually had saw Watts in the building, and I want to pull his comment up on stage. Watts said, I think an adaptable man has the ability to hear good info come from a coach, a pastor, or even the neighborhood dope fiend. And hey, we got to understand something too, because it's not the end state of a man that defines his ability to have knowledge, because the end state of a man could be a situation in which, unfortunately, it's his lower self, but it doesn't mean the mind itself is in a lower state. So I wanted to add that on, because I agree with 100 Watts. I've been in many different places in my life, and there's been some people that would, they were like, yo, Conrad, you listening to this guy as smart as you are? Well, I'm gonna tell you that straight goods is because of the person like that who put me up on knowledge at one point. And yeah, I was able to take that and make it greater and help to solidify my foundation. So 100 Watts, we definitely salute to that. We got Mr. 84 in the building, Mr. Best in the World, the intellectual soapbox. Thank you for being here tonight, brother. And as we finish, I'm going to be heading over there for a little bit, show my love and support, be with the brothers as I'm kind of crawling out of my wilderness, as I coined that to Chris as we were talking in the back. Salute to you, brother. Salute to you. For myself, I echo the sentiments of that everybody is the brothers have said thus far. And in being an adaptable man, number one, I think it's completely necessary. It is completely necessary. If young brothers that you're listening, if you're an older cat and you're going through something right now, you need to take a minute and get your mind out of the situation, and put your mind around the situation. And what I mean by that specifically is that there's times when the situation will drag you in so much that you forget the tools that you actually have, the mental ability that you have to be able to plan, think, and as Rush mentioned, have a stoic approach. Sometimes the stoic approach is not just for the women that are in your surrounding. A lot of times the stoic approach is to keep us balanced in the midst of adversity that would cause us. And I said this to Chris, when it causes your emotions to override your ability to think, your ability to hear. Sometimes we go into a situation and we need to take ourselves out and kind of just galvanize and stay not away from people. We want to make this clear. It's not about getting away from people. It's about staying still. That causes everything. Yo, if it's gonna move, keep moving. But I right now need to be still so I can grab it. I can literally get a hold of my thoughts, get a hold of my being, and say, okay, I'm gonna check the engine. I'm gonna check these lights. I'm gonna check these brakes. Is everything working the way it's supposed to work? Okay, I know there's a leak somewhere, but I can't keep running and expect to find this leak where it is. I gotta be able to isolate it. And the only way to isolate it is that stoicism has to bring me to a stop. So, an adaptable man, to me, number one, he knows when to bring himself to a stop, even when other things are continuing to move. And chaos is always moving. But the thing that we can do as men is we can bring ourselves to a stop and say, hold on, this storm or whatever this chaos is, you're going to have to move and you're going to have to move past me because I don't intend to ride out with you. I'm not going to crash out with you. And you're not going to bring me to, you're not going to take no bread from my hand. You're not going to take no peace from my hand. And you're not going to take me. A lot of times chaos will be moving and things will be moving around us. And what's happening is it's moving us out of our frame. So by the time we come into contact with anybody, another brother, our community, another woman, we're so far out of frame because chaos done removed us from that foundation. But it's important to withdraw and say, hey, I'm here. But at this moment, I'm trying to filter out some things. I'm trying to reset some things. And I'm trying to focus on putting building up these walls, making them stronger, reinforce them. And if there's something I got to replace, I can't replace it, keep it moving. So an adaptable man is completely necessary. And how we get to being an adaptable man, I think, is to first have the awareness of self. A lot of people, they want to be aware of a situation, they want to be aware of other people, and that's cool. But I think we can all agree, and maybe I'll pose this as a question. I can't be always completely aware of myself if my eyes is always focused on Chris. I can't be aware of myself and what's going on with me or what's going wrong with me if I'm always focused on what Rush is doing. And I'm talking about from an envious standpoint, because that's what the world, I really believe that the society that we're in wants to keep us so busy getting a instant dopamine hit, whether it's through, oh, I wish I had what Rush had, or I wish I had what Chris had, or I want this and I want that. That's that other aspect of chaos that keeps you moving and brings you out of frame. But once an adaptable man knows how to slow that down. I remember, I don't know about y'all, but I love my anime. I love my Dragon Ball Z. When Goku had passed after the fight with Cell, and he went to train with the Grand Priest, and they had that tournament, and he was fighting the Piccolo looker Pykoff. And Pykoff had that one move where he hits him with the storm, the firestorm. And Goku's in the middle of it and he's getting trapped and the storm's just cutting him up. And then as he's spinning, Goku's like, yo, Goku literally focused his strength, bomb stops moving. Pykoff was like, yo, what is this? Nobody's ever done this to my special move. And bomb, he's able to snap that down. And he's like, yeah, he's like, you tough, but I already had the formula to break out of that. Now, that's a lot of times what we got to do. An adaptable man knows how to bring himself to a place. And if you don't know, then we're giving you that formula tonight. If you want to be an adaptable man, or you feel like you're struggling being an adaptable man, you got to know when to bring yourself to a stop, even if it's to face something you did. Because I think men get attacked for this a lot in terms of social media, where they try to spin a narrative where it's like, oh, men never want to take accountability, we're always trying to run. Okay, so what we're saying over here is flip that script. That ain't got to be you. You're going to be an adaptable man, you got to know how to stop. You got to face your music, face the music, and say, yo, this symphony gonna stop today. So definitely, I definitely think about that. Anybody want to add anything else before we go on to the next prompt? Everybody's good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, man. You, I mean, you
Okay.
said it well done.
Yo, you both touched on something. Rush, we're gonna flip it in reverse. I'm gonna come to you on this one, then we're gonna go to Coach Chris. Um, Building resilience and mental toughness. I believe it's part of the makeup of an adaptable man. But at what point would we say that somebody, especially men, we have to learn this? Is it early? Is it later on? Is it never too late to learn this? What's your viewpoint on that? Building resilience and mental toughness.
Building resilience is basically having a steadfast spirit, man. That's something that you got to be taught as a youngin', man. If you're not instilled that within yourself as a young man, when you become an adult, you ain't gonna be able to accomplish all your goals. So you got to be instilled that kind of mindset as a youngin'. Know what I mean, because as kids, man, you're more of a visual learner, man. So you watch what your parents do, and you kind of soak that knowledge in and conform to it, to your style of surviving in the real world. Know what I mean, so that's something you got to be taught as a young man. If you're a grown man and you don't have that kind of resilience built in you, then you're cooked. You won't be able to accomplish anything. You'll always be dependent, on somebody to help you out to survive in life, man. I mean, you don't want to be in that kind of predicament, man. Stay sucker free, man.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Yeah, thank y'all. Yay. Remember, don't let it cut your chicken now. Don't let it cut your chicken. I love it, Rush. I love it. Thank you so much for that. Coach Chris, building resilience and mental toughness.
Yeah, bro. Listen, man, I ain't gonna never get tired of that whole sucker free part, man. That joint give me every single time, yo. Rush said it best. Like that's real talk right there. It's better to get it early instead of waiting too late. But it's never too late to develop that mindset, man, of mental toughness. But it's better to get it early. That way you can kind of like thrive and maneuver and succeed early on in life instead of getting it at the age of 40 or whatever the case may be. But nah, it ain't never too late to become mental tough. You feel me? And I feel like God can redeem, he can redeem a person. He can redeem the time. So if you put yourself in order, you know, gain that mental toughness, become resilient mentally, spiritually, like man, you can succeed in life. But yeah, Rush said it best, man. If you ain't got no mental toughness, man, you're gonna fold every single day, man. You're gonna be looking for validation in every single body instead of like going to God or yourself for validation. You feel me? You're gonna be seeking this attention from everybody else and everything else except yourself and what God done told you already. God done gave you the green light, he done gave you the thumbs up, God done gave you the blueprint, and you out here like seeking some type of validation in everybody else, man. No, it's like no, you have mental toughness. Because if you ain't got it, man, you gonna crumble every single day, man. And with the mental toughness, man, you can accomplish every single thing. You can look at that mountain and be like, I can take that on and be good at the end of the day, man. Some break your heart, you can bounce back the next day. Shed a tear, get angry, go to the gym and punch the bag or whatever the case may be, and you bounce right back. You want that bounce back at the end of the day, fam. That's what mental toughness is. You can pick yourself up and keep it pushing, man. You gotta have that.
I unmuted this time. Most definitely. I agree with everything that everybody said, and I just want to Rush 100 watts. I don't know if you saw the comment, but he said you can't fake that up north flavor. Yeah, that flavor is real, man. That flavor is real. Um, no, most definitely, I agree with everything that everybody said. One thing, my grandfather, um, not a man of a lot of words, a man of I'd probably say phrases more than anything. And I always say this, even on his deathbed, the phrase that my grandfather left me, I value it to this day. He say, "You've got to try. A man has to try." And he wasn't a perfect man. And ladies, I want to direct this part of this comment towards y'all. Because y'all think that when we men get on here and we talking from a perfect place, and I'm accomplished and I'm the man. No, 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 no. It's not about that. A lot of times we're humble enough to know that when we look back on where we've been, if we didn't have this integral cog right here, this piece of the puzzle, if we didn't have it, this, we wouldn't even be here where we are right now. And you might not value it based on where we are, but I'm not gonna, I ain't gonna hold you. This is where we stay sucker free, because I'm not about, as y'all mentioned, I'm not about to place my self-worth on where I'm at based on whether you approve of where I'm at. And this is why I wanted to say, building that resilience. I think that first part of resilience is that as a man, young man, wherever you are, older man, don't forget to try. You've got to try. And a lot of times, if you're willing to get up and try, yeah, you might be tired. You might feel a little broken. You might be bruised. You might be battered. You might be scarred. You might feel underappreciated. If you got to ask yourself one thing, how do I see me? You could be the worst villain on the face of the earth. If you see you as something more than where you're at, then you definitely will get to a place where you're able to see yourself accomplish more. The scriptures say, "As a man thinketh, so is he." Right? But a lot of times we are not, because we don't think nothing. We get so caught up in the moment and how we feel. If we're dealing with emotional trauma, then we're bound by that emotional trauma, whether it's mom. And I can speak to that personally, just to offer up a little bit of transparency for myself. It took me a lot to get past what the issues that me and my mom had. I sat there and asked myself for years, how come the love that I get from older mothers in the community, the love that I get from other women who don't know me, like why? And like, I was borderline crashing out, meant emotionally unstable. Until one day I had to actually sit myself down and say, yo, is this going to be the end product of me when I'm 50? That I'm not past this? Is my family and my community and my brothers, sisters that I might encounter them and they might need my help, are they not going to be able to get any help from me because I'm so mentally bound? And ladies, y'all want to know so many different things about men, and you get into these groups where you guys talk about men as if we're some bootleg science project. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Sometimes you picked up a man in his process and he tried to get you to leave him alone so he could finish his process, and you decided to convince him that you were enough to help him through his process. Understand that sometimes you are not the one to help him through his process. Accept that and know that that doesn't demean your value. It has nothing to do with your value, because you couldn't be there for a man's process. Sometimes he needs to have enough mental toughness and resilience enough to know that he needs to be in this wilderness position by himself. Some ish got to get worked out right now. And the Most High is not opposed to watching you go through that, whether you do it willingly or unwillingly. You don't believe me? Ask David with Bathsheba. So straight goods. Man wanted to save the kid. God was like, yo, get your butt up and go clean yourself up, because I ain't saving nobody today. David was like, all right, I hear you, God. I'm out. I'm gonna go change my clothes. What we got next to do? So yeah, resilience necessary. And it is necessary because a lot of times what we are resilient against as men is the wave of emotional influx that destabilizes our ability and our foundation. And again, that mental toughness does not come from just admitting things. It comes from having a place and having a resolve inside that says, I will try. I will try to be better. I will try to get over. I will try to get through. And no matter what I got to do, I am going to put forth the effort to make sure that I come through in this vein. Definitely necessary. Now, this is something that I am personally focused on for this next prompt right here as we round out the next two or three. Um, Personal growth for men, self-improvement, and men's mindset. Now, we heard the phrase, we've been hearing it all night. I remember the first time I met Rush. He was on the panel. He was like, yo, stay sucker free, yo. And the man just said it. And I was just like, whoa. I was sitting there looking around the panel. I'm like, whoa. Like, because you know when you hear like a certain type of energy, it's not coming at you, but it's immediately challenging the other energies in the room. I was like, yeah, Rush just came through and he was just like, yo, stay sucker free. And everybody, like, there was a couple of women on the panel. They were like, yo, what you mean by that? What you mean by that? And he was like, what do you mean? What do I mean? I mean, stay sucker free. I'm going to repeat myself. So I was dying and I love it. But yeah, this aspect of personal growth, self improvement, men's mindset. I want to start from this and I'm going to throw this up open. Whoever wants to take it from here, we're going to dissect this a little bit. Men's mindset. What does that mean? We're talking about the adaptable man. We've talked about, the aspect of resilience and that mental toughness. As it relates, if we can acknowledge that those are key pieces in the frame of a man's mindset, then what are some other things about a man's mindset that make it completely necessary in him being adaptable? Whoever.
You want me to go first, or you want to go, Chris? Okay, I can't hear ya, but okay. Yo, the mindset, right? When I think about the word mind, it's not really a mindset. Like, it's kind of gonna let me stay on topic first. Like a mindset, a guy with a mindset of self improvement, is good. You know what I mean? Because he's able to grow, he's willing to learn. You know what I mean, a lot of times with self improvement, you got to be able to have what's the word I'm looking for? Accountability. If you're not able to be accountable for your own actions, then you'll never have a self improving mindset. Now, I read a book, right, and it's called "When Pigs Move In." Author name is John Dickerman, and and the premise of the book is basically people's testimonies of being delivered and a priest practicing exhortation. And there was this one particular dude practicing exhortation in his particular individual, and when he was getting ready to uh, uh, cast out this unclean spirit, the unclean spirit was telling him like, "Yo, oh yeah." He was politicking with the unclean spirit, right? And he was asking him like, "Yo, where's your location?" He was like, "Yo, I'm in his mind, right?" So he was like, I bet. He put the oil in his hand, you know what I mean? Because the oil represents the fire of the divine spirit, you know what I mean? Which means you're anointed to put in that kind of pain. Well, not pain, but put in that kind of work for the Most High. So he proceeded to put his hand on his head, right? And the unclean spirit was telling his son, like, yo, nah, I'm in his mind, right? He was like, what do you mean? You in? All right, so he started laying hands on his head. He was like, yo, I'm in his mind. Then he peeped game. He was like, oh. So he put his hand in between like his like chest, heart, stomach area, and really he was really talking about his soul. So your mind is
Yeah.
really the soul, you know what I mean? And you know, the Greek niggas, they was talking about this through their philosophy too. They were saying like, yo, your soul is really your mind is your soul, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not really the physical mind. You know what I mean? If you catch
No, no,
my
no.
drift,
You landing. You landing. No, no, no. Keep
yeah,
going, my
so
G. We with you. We
you know what
with
I
you.
mean? You know what I mean? For me to get, you know what I mean, get to the point of whatever, man, like, yo, it's about you having the ability to be accountable for your actions. If you can't do that, then you'll never have a self improvement type mindset. You'll never edify yourself. You know what I mean?
Ooh-wee. Yo, we gonna make sure we clip that. If there's not one clip, I'm gonna make sure tomorrow afternoon I clip that. Renee, if you're listening, that is the only clip we gonna run for the next month. A man that cannot be accountable will not have self-improvement, will not have a strong mindset. Yo, Chris,
Yeah,
Chris, you see how
that's
he,
hot.
my goodness.
That's
Yo,
hot.
go ahead, go, Chris.
Bro, the whole breakdown was incredible, man. And bro, I'm pretty much gonna piggyback off of what Rush was saying. I think I'm still in the same vein, but you can't with the accountability piece, you can't be accountable unless you've been honest at the end of the day. So when I think about personal growth and self-improvement, it's like, yo, you gotta be honest, like you gotta be transparent with whatever that looks like. And for the longest, until I started going to therapy, I'm like, yo, why do brothers like, why do brothers like, avoid the therapist? because I'm like, yo, when you get in that room or whatever the case may be, or you get with one of your boys and you gotta like be honest about a certain situation and be transparent, it's tough. Accountability, man, that can be tough sometimes. Being honest and being transparent, that can be tough sometimes. So if you want personal growth at the end of the day, like Rush said, you do got to be accountable. But bro, you got to be honest with yourself at the end of the day. You come in there faking, you come in there being a sucker because they not staying sucker free, bro. It's no growth at the end of the day, fam. You gotta be honest. You gotta be transparent. If you come in there like lying, you not, bro. You gonna continue to be a liar, and you gonna continue to like become the worst version of yourself at the end of the day. But bro, if you being honest, that's when the growth comes. That's when the enlightenment of your better self. That's when all of that comes, man. And then like shoot, you straight after that, bro. But now personal development, accountability, like Russ said, but also being honest, man. Staying sucker free, like my man was saying, bro. But honesty, man, is the key. Honesty is the key at the end of the day.
Y'all, forgive me. I'm just trying to test something out right quick. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, you coming in hot, you straight.
Okay. Yo, I'm sitting here and I touched a button on my phone, and it ended up connecting to the main drive. I wasn't trying to go mic'd up tonight because I liked how we was flowing. Connection is good. Finally,
Yo, turn up your volume. You're kind of low.
Kind of low. Is that better? Let me just
Yeah,
double check
a lot
this.
better.
Okay, bless. I think I was kind of awkward in the mic as well too. Give me 1 second here. Let me just adjust that. All right, cool. Yeah, brothers. Man, I ain't even got anything to add on left to what y'all said because y'all built it up so beautifully. And for anybody who missed that, yeah, I'm not even gonna make Rush repeat that. What I'm gonna tell you to do is go back and watch it. Literally watch that, and we gonna run the clip, but you gonna have to watch that because that was masterful. That was masterful. And you know what the funny thing is? Just before we go on, that same sentiment. A lot of people don't take the time to analyze something that's being said to them to be able to understand how to move. They just want to get to the move so fast. And I'm learning this right now. Like I'm going through a situation where I'm understanding that I actually got to hear beyond what I'm hearing and stop looking at the immediate word and start looking behind it. You get what I'm saying? So that way I can get that knowledge for self-improvement. But definitely, I think that's one thing I can definitely agree on, that that aspect of accountability is completely necessary. If you do not have accountability, you will lose yourself, you will lose your community, you will lose the people that even would want to see you do better. Definitely, I concur with that. You know what? Just because we're almost running overtime, and the other two prompts, Rush, I'll tell you right now, there is going to be a part two of this. So avail yourself, brother. And we're going to try to get the other brothers to come up. Some of them was on short notice, but they came through and showed some love in the chat. We talked about thriving under pressure, and we as some of the points and examples we were bringing out before. But as we get ready to bring this to a close, I actually want to focus more on this last one: overcoming life's challenges. I remember a situation that I was in. Now it would have been like over 18 years ago. And in this situation, I'll probably say it was the worst combination of situations that was happening to me. I had never been in a situation where I had to be detained by the cops. I had never been in a situation where I had to be booked. And I mean like really booked. Like when they say in that movie that like they want you to, you know, man, I hate to say this because it stripped so much dignity for me at the time, but this is exactly as all as they don't call it the real for no reason, man. Yo, when they tell you to bend over and cough, bro, every ounce of my dignity got stripped that in that moment. And they're all like, all right, yeah, you good, go sit down. I'm like, what? Like, y'all weird. And this specific challenge was so multi-layered that even in the midst of trying to take accountability, there was a setup for more calamity, because the detective, when I asked him a specific question, he showed me the case file because he thought I was going to leave there and go crash out so he could get a bigger case. And in the midst of trying to take accountability from MMS, I had to look at him and say, well, you think I'm going to go and do something worse? Man looked at me and smiled and shrugged his shoulders like he was Michael Jordan. Like he just hit the 8th three-pointer and he don't know how it happened. When that situation was said and done, gentlemen, and this is, to me, this is what overcoming life challenges look like, is you've moved so beyond the challenge at a certain point because you took accountability. You reinforce the mindset that is necessary to not just get over, but to be ready for the next chapter. That by the time you won, you didn't even know it because you already moved past it. Does that make sense? Bro, when the situation came to, and I'm so oblivious, I'm in Barney land, man. I'm just sitting there and I'm moving through because I already moved past the situation. They're like, yeah, we're going to dismiss this with prejudice. So it can never be, not only can it never be brought up again, but we're also going to acknowledge what happened with the detective. But in my mind, if I had given in to what that detective wanted me to do in the moment, I would have wrecked not only my life, but 2 other people. And one of those people was studying to be a doctor. The day of the court case, he was writing his exam for his PhD. And sometimes overcoming life's challenges is not just for you. That's what I learned in this situation, because I could have been hyper focused on what I want and my situation and my outcome, that I was like, nah, I don't care about everybody else in this situation. But I got to a point where my resolve got checked. I had to acknowledge that part of the reason why I'm here is because I couldn't control myself. And in taking accountability and fixing that situation, I overcame the situation long before I even knew that I had won. What I was looking for as to say, okay, hey, like you did well, like you can move on with your life. Brothers, when I tell you that I didn't even realize that by the time everything was said and done, I was already far past it. And overcoming that situation, it gave me a bravado. But I think as we can all agree on something, that a big part of us overcoming situations is about making sure that we are right with the Most High. Is making sure that our mental and our spiritual is in frame. And not just in frame, but operating. I really believe that. Chris, what you got?
Bruh, storms don't stop a man that's on a mission. All they do is strengthen his faith. And the key word, I'm listening to you, bro. And the
Clip
key
that
word
and
that,
say that again. Say that again, Chris. They didn't
yeah,
hear you.
brother.
They didn't hear you.
Bro, the
Storms.
storms don't stop a man that's on the mission, man. They come to strengthen his faith. And I'm listening to you, bro. And you said something that stood out was, control. And man, if I can encourage every brother that's out there, man, of overcoming life challenges, man, just control the controllables, man. We be thinking too far ahead. And that's when all the stress and the anxiety and all this other stuff starts kicking in. But if you can control the things that's within your power, you good. Just focus on that. And then tomorrow, tomorrow worry about itself. You worry about tomorrow when they get here. But if it's something that you can do today that can make your life or your family's life a little bit better and a little bit easier, I say do that. I mean, keep it simple. Man, I kind of live my life like that. We keep things simple, live a simple life. So control the controllables, man. Focus on the stuff that's within your power, that's within your reach, and handle that. And shoot, the other stuff that comes, man, you know, hey, when it's time to handle that, you can handle that. But yeah, overcoming life challenges, man, keep it simple, man.
That's facts. That is so facts. My bad. My bad. Before we come to Rush, earlier, Steve McGill, shout out to you, brother, for passing through. We want to definitely acknowledge you. Thank you for being here, brother. Hope that you like, share, and subscribe the stream. And we got our brother Gas Mask in the building. Salute to you, my brother. He popped up and said, yo. I say yo right back, man. How are you doing? Hope all is well. Rush, overcoming life's challenges as we get ready to close. What's your final thoughts on that?
Yo, my final thoughts on overcoming life challenges is never make decisions, especially decisions that's like serious in your life, with emotion. You can't be emotional making decisions, man. You got to be able to separate that, man. Sometimes, you know, you're going to have to deal with a situation where you're emotional. Your emotions is tied to a situation. Sometimes you have a lot of times you're going to have to learn how to separate your emotions from certain decisions you got to make, man. Because if you don't, you're going to crash and burn, man. You know what I mean? And like I said before, man, staying sucker free is the campaign, man. You got to stay sucker free out here, man, because, yo, ain't nobody going to save you, man, especially if you're a black man in America, man. Where he's born, man. I mean, it's what it is, man. Where he's born.
Yo, I kid you not, bro. You literally remind me of state property. Every time we be chilling, I'm just like, yo, my G actually makes me feel like I'm in state property. I'm just like, word is bomb, my G. Yo, Rush is so authentic, man. Oh my G. Yo, I got mad love for you, Rush, man. Man, Chris, I'm telling you, yeah,
Yeah,
this
bro.
is just the beginning right through here.
Solid
Stay
dude,
sucker
bro.
free.
Yeah,
Stay
man. Solid
sucker
brother.
free. We
Yup.
literally, I'm working on some of these. I'm working on some things in the background. And Rush, I kid you not, guaranteed next time we on the panel together, I'm gonna have a pop up, a little banner that just says a flag cross. Stay sucker free, always, day and night, 24/7, 365. Stay sucker free. That's what it is. Well, this clearly was a part one because I had some brothers hit me up and they're like they want to be a part of the part two. They just couldn't come through tonight. So we're gonna set the table. The table is set. We just gonna excuse ourselves tonight and wash up these dishes and get ready for that next episode number 2 of the Adaptable Man. Because I think there's another level that we can go as we talked about emotion, and we don't want to overlook how I mean, I hate to say this, ladies, it's not a knock at you, but it is because y'all asked for this in this generation. You can't have a man that's too emotional. It's not good. It's not good for himself. And ladies, as much as you would love it, it's not good for you either to have a man that's too emotional. And we're going to explore that in episode number 2. So, okay, all right. We got somebody on my Discord just said great show. Salute to Discord. I ain't got nothing else. I'm good right through here. My name is I almost said Coach Chris. My name is Conrad. We exiting out the building tonight. We were joined by Rush, the CEO, the founder, the curator, the hostess with the mostest from the Labutu Network. Our brother coming in, and he helping out Boston, repping that B side right now. And hey, the Toronto Blue Jays, we putting it on. We about to put the stomp on Seattle and climbing and even backed up this series. So anybody who's voting on Seattle, yeah, we just gave you the 13-4. We just gave you the 13-4, and you're about to get 13 more. All right? We are out. Make sure you go like, share, and subscribe to the Bluetooth Network on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. QOC, TikTok, Instagram. Look us up at QOC Network and at The Real Podcast. We are on all major platforms as well. Go like and subscribe. And Gas Mask, yo, brother, we got to get you up on the next episode. So I know you are here. Yes, I got a Discord, and I'll throw it to you on the Instagram when we get out. Brothers, I'm about to go catch some food right quick. I know, Chris, you about to get ready to head back into the wilderness. I'm going to tap in with you, Rush. I'm going to tap in with you behind the scenes. Until the next time, peace, love, and chicken grease from the Middle East. Salute to everybody. Much love to you.